We go? Yeah. All right. We'll start rolling, bro.
Perfect.
Do the clap, Danny.
I'll count it.
No, but he's so aggressive with his clap. Listen, it puts me on the
I
spot.
scared someone to guess me.
You get to take him back up.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. We're back again. And we're here today with Max, bro. How you doing, bro?
Good. Thank you for having me.
So it's a good moment, but we've been talking about this for what, like a couple, like 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, 2-3 weeks now, yeah.
And now you're on, bro. Now you're on. Give it like a little bit of an introduction about yourself. Like, who are you? What do you do?
Okay.
Background information for people that are listening who don't know. I don't know who you are.
So I'm Max Anderson. I'm a third-year IBA student, but the main reason I'm probably on this podcast is for the events that I've been organizing over the past 2 years.
Yeah. Everyone knows about your events, bro.
Yeah.
We do.
Including Project Rotterdam,
Yeah.
Utopia, and then We Lit now as well.
Yeah.
And then the one 2 days ago, Erasmus Gala.
Yeah,
was
big
the
shout
one.
out. That was a big one this year.
Big shout out to Erasmus Gala.
So 6 events in a total.
Yeah, and then there's also the one I'm doing back in Belgium, Side Gathering as well.
Okay.
So that's the really big one, the one that kind of got me into everything. So yeah.
And where are you originally from, bro?
So I'm originally from the UK,
Yeah.
but I was moved around as a child a bit. Lived in Tokyo for a bit
Wow.
when I was a lot younger. Lived back in England, and
Yeah.
then lived in Belgium for the majority of my life in Brussels.
Damn, that's
just
why you
outside
got
of Brussels.
connections with the Tomorrowland and all like the festival. Yeah,
there
makes
we go.
sense.
Yeah,
Makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. So yeah, basically born and raised in Brussels, 12 years
Okay.
there. Just outside of Brussels. So I speak Dutch, not French, so don't test me on my French.
Oh, do you actually speak Dutch like fluently?
I speak Flemish. It's like a dialect of Dutch.
Yeah, but don't they
it's
insult you
basic-
here? Like,
Yeah, a little bit. You get a bit nervous when you're speaking to someone. They'll change quickly to English just so, it's
Yeah,
not
fair
too
enough.
uncomfortable for them.
Yeah, fair enough. And so, where's the British then connection? Because I thought you told me that you had also like a British, or your parents are British.
Yeah,
or?
my parents are British, so they were born and raised in Newcastle, up north.
Damn.
So I'm a big Newcastle fan.
You are?
Yeah,
Well, I'm an
yeah.
Arsenal fan, bro.
Okay. Ooh.
You know, you guys cost us the league because the ball.
It's our fault. It's our
No,
fault.
because the ball did like kind of cross the line, but like if we won that game, we would have beaten City, bro.
Okay.
it's
It's our fault.
It's your fault, bro. It's all down to you. But yeah, so you're English. Like, would you consider yourself English? Would you consider yourself more like?
I feel more Belgian than English
Yeah?
because like my like majority teenage life, like young life, was all in Belgium. So I like born and raised in sort of
Yeah.
a Belgium atmosphere. All my like very good friends are Belgian.
So you go back often, I guess. To,
Yeah, regularly going back on Saturday for the elections. So
Oh, yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Jesus. And so then maybe like to get into it, explain to us kind of how this whole nightlife thing came about. Like, where did it originally start from? Like all
Yeah.
these events.
Yeah. So it originally started off as like in my first year, it was obviously like COVID. There wasn't really much going on.
Yeah.
And we kind of came out of COVID, and there were a few things that were going on, especially for students. There was We Lit, obviously, with Arash and Andres.
Yeah.
And
that was a
then-
big one.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Max and Rita started ENO, which was like
Yeah.
the really, really big one. But other than that, there was like Global Beats, but it wasn't really like popping off too much at that point. And that's the thing I explained to you the other day. It was like there wasn't really anything like niche-wise. There wasn't anything for the type of music that me and my co-founders were really interested in.
Yeah.
So,
which is like techno
yeah, more
house.
techno, electronic music. So I went to Tomorrowland that summer for my first ever time, and I
Yeah.
met somebody, a friend's dad, that owns a stage at Tomorrowland, and he basically just like convinced me like you should do it. It's really interesting industry to work in. It's going to be good for like your just personal development.
Yeah.
And I was like, still like a bit like iffy about if I wanted to do it or
Yeah.
not. We came back in September, and my co-founder, one of my best friends, Marco,
Yeah.
literally was like, we need to do something. It's not working out. I'm not enjoying it. We started slowly drifting off to Amsterdam a little bit more to experience like the techno nights and like the electronic music nights. And we really wanted to do something in Rotterdam. So Marco was like, let's do it. We called up the Tomorrowland people. We said, hey, can you help us out with some connections? And that's kind of how it sort of snowballed. Started off a project and then snowballed more and more into bigger and bigger events, different music genres. Yeah, everything.
So like the inspiration was more because you felt like there was like a gap where you guys could kind of like fill that.
Exactly. We went into it like with sort of a business mindset, and we thought like we had like the right connections and the friends that would be willing to come, and we wanted to create like sort of a community of our friends coming to our events. And then it just got bigger and bigger from there.
Damn,
Wasn't it
'cause-
like scary at the start? Like,
Oh,
you have to put like money on the line, I guess.
Yeah. We originally wanted our first event at Villa Italia, which is such a weird thing in my mind now. It's like, why, like I would not do an event at Villa Italia, especially for electronic music. You know, it's not the right venue.
No, it's not the right venue.
And we were calling up clubs like, hey, can we do this? Can we do this here? And they're like, oh, have you got any experience? No, not really. We just thought, okay, it's not going to happen. And then Villa Italia actually gave us an offer. And when we realized that like the finances were getting involved, when they gave us the original first quote of the rental price, and we're like, oof, like shit's getting serious now, you know? And
But how was that feeling? Kind of like you said, you go there with a business mind, but when you start actually having, oh shit, we got to pay for this. Like, isn't that kind of stressful? Because you're going from this idea of just like, oh, let's just create a party to finally be like, shit, we got to actually put up money for this. And
it was definitely stressful. So that's why we like decided not to do Talia for our first event, was because we wanted to make it like as risk adverse as possible for the first one. Fair. So then we got T-Wire. Like, I don't know if you guys know T-Wire. It's like
no, I don't know that one.
It's next to Burrs. It's like a sushi restaurant throughout the day that turns into a club on like a Friday night.
Wait, like Burrs, like on the other side?
2 stages, like on 2.
It has 2 platforms, but 1 stage. It's like, you know, you have the Hilton, and then you have Burrs, and that's like kind of in between.
Oh yeah, I know, but I thought it's a restaurant.
It is a restaurant that turns into a club on Friday. It's actually really nice. It's
really?
Like a really nice club, like a bit more chic, a bit more elegant.
Yeah.
And they basically said, look, we'll do the event on a Thursday night, and you don't have any financial like obligations towards us, no bar limit, no rental fee. And that's when we were like, okay, let's do it.
So it did.
Perfect.
So it did start with you not having to pay, basically.
Yeah. Like the first event was like quite cheap. You know, we funded everything through ticket revenue. So we did all the marketing in house, all the promotion management in house, and then shout out Mate, as you'll be watching this after. We did all the promotion content in house, and we established it. We went live, and then the tickets started coming in. You know, it was obviously just our friends help. Like they knew the vision. Yeah. They wanted to help us out, and then it snowballed, and we just went like that into the first event with basically not a lot of financial risk, or like a financial risk that we were like happy to take on, you know.
And you said like it was more like this thing of like trying to fill in the gap that no one had done in like techno and house. Is there somebody also that influenced you, or maybe like you talked about somebody at Tomorrowland that kind of influenced you, or is it just like you said, just really with the boys, let's just do this and let's see where it goes?
I think like the boys definitely had a big influence on like the idea creation and like the sort of the motivation behind like we're actually gonna do it. The guy that kind of like inspired me to do it was the guy from Tomorrowland. My best friend's dad has a stage at Tomorrowland.
Well, shout out to him also.
Shout out to Greg if he's watching. He helped me a lot with like connections and the getting the venues, getting the DJs, especially like later on in the project stage, and helping me with like everything there, giving me also like just the first-hand experience of going backstage at like Tomorrowland and experiencing it, seeing how like a big festival works. And how like the operation side of things and all the logistics that goes into it.
So you got to see like all the organization kind of.
The stage design all the way down to like the little artist management with talking to stage managers and everything, meeting big artists, meeting small artists. It was just like really, really cool experience.
So he really like showed you kind of like the industry, I guess.
Yeah. He showed me like the high-end spectrum. He showed me the Apple of events.
Did that push you on to wanting to actually then start your own things? Definitely.
He really motivated me to like, get started and just like try things out, you know. His mindset 100%. Is really like, it's best to just try things. And the more, the more you try, the more you fuck about, the more you find out. So that's basically what he was telling me. And we went into it with that mindset.
The more you find out.
Exactly.
I've never heard that one before. The more you fuck about, the more you find out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good saying.
That's basically what happened. And he was like telling me to do it, and the boys motivated me to continue. And that obviously like an essential part of the team as well. So.
Damn. And so like this team, I mean like, so you kind of had this idea, but I'm guessing the boys also had a similar vision, or was it you who kind of pitched it to them?
No, like I would say Marco actually pitched the idea to us. And especially like the original project idea.
Yeah, because let's maybe before we get into that, was it only like one event at the time, or did you want to do loads of events?
No. We just wanted to start off with project and just
see how it went.
Just see how that went, and just do it for like us, our friends, and build like a community around that.
Yeah.
And Marco really came up with the idea. He was like, I want to do this. Can you guys help out? And then obviously like the connections that we had and like the team just kind of formed together. And then things started to spiral controlledly out of control into like just different events over the years, and different sort of things within the event industry.
Damn, that's crazy. Like I feel like it's cool when you do something with your boys, especially.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, for like this, like just this podcast, when we do it together, or like even when I have people who help me, it really motivates me to like I want to be on my shit and take this as far as possible.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're by yourself doing something, it's a lonely
really
road.
hard.
Like
it's really hard.
Whereas when you have your boys being like, okay, let's all do this together, and like you do this, I'll do this, I'll take care of that. It must be like it must be so much easier. It must have been with projects.
I feel like it's also more fulfilling as well.
Yeah.
Like when you and your boys are
stuff.
doing stuff together and it's working out, then it's just like there's probably no better feeling. I feel like when you're just there and you're at your event and you're like, wow, this finally came together and we did this together. It's just such a nice feeling.
And how did like the first? So like the project was the first. Like how did it go? Like the first couple ones. How did it? How was that experience of doing your first couple events?
I'll talk about the first one because that was a really weird story. So as I told you, it's a restaurant. TY is a restaurant.
Yeah.
And talked to the guy, the club manager at the time, Morris, and he's like, just super like laissez-faire, just super relaxed about everything, not stressed at all. And we're stressing, it's the first event. We're like, hey, the tickets are coming in, but like, what's happening with the artist? Where is he? And we come on the day, and it's like, event's meant to start at 11.
Yeah.
We get here we arrive at 8.
Yeah.
Like way too early. Don't know why we came so early.
Yeah, you wanted to be prepared.
We wanted to be
Make
super
sure,
prepared.
I get it.
And we come at 8. There's people eating food and stuff. Morris offers us a few drinks, some food. We have some sushi with him, and then it gets a bit later. It's like 10.
Yeah.
10:30. People still in the restaurant eating food. 10:45. Tables are still in the inn. Not like it's still a restaurant. 11. Everyone out, starts kicking people out. People still, finishing food. And we're like, this guest's already queuing, and there's people leaving with their sushi platter, leaving. It was stressful. Tables start, slowly going. And we're like, damn, this is not going to go well, people are going to come in, and it's going to smell of sushi inside here, and people are just going to be super confused. And then it all went well in the end, it ran smoothly. So the first one, sold out very 2 days beforehand, 2-3 days beforehand.
Jeez.
And then after that we wanted to really go into the techno scene and the not techno at that point, but electronic music scene. And the best venue in Rotterdam for that is definitely hands down Toffler, because it's the sound system that's incredible.
Also the stage moves, right?
Yeah.
That's so good because when we organize, because it moves, because then if you don't have that many people, you can make it look like there's more people than there is.
So the stage moves about 30 meters.
Exactly. When you're a Mantra Villa Italia, if there's not a lot of people, you can know that there's not a lot of people.
I feel it's always packed. No
but
matter what.
The stage just moves, right?
So it's kind of on these rails, like a train basically. And, they have this little button that we can press, and it just moves backwards about 30 meters. So
that's a big difference.
It will feel really full at 200 people in the club, but the stage can move all the way back, and then you can have 650 people inside the venue, and that just shows you how far it moves back. It's super weird. And as a party girl consumer, you don't even know the stage is moving because it moves so slowly.
Is it slowly by slowly as people come in, it kind of moves, or did they do it once? They just move it straight away and then everyone just kind of...
No, they just move it super slowly throughout the whole night.
Damn, they're smart about it.
Yeah, they're counting at how many people are coming at the door, and then they kind of know how far we need to go back depending on how many people are in the venue. You can't. The stage can't go forwards. So when there's people in there, because I think they're scared about maybe running over someone's foot or something. So it could end quite badly. So the stage moves backwards. And the sound system's incredible. The lighting is incredible. So that's the first venue that we did in the electronic music.
Okay, but that was not that was part of the first couple of events?
That
or
was the
that
second one. That was the
Okay.
second one, and that one like sold out like 2 weeks beforehand. It was crazy.
So that's my question. I don't like you starting a party out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you're just able to sell it out like that.
Yeah.
So either was it like you had loads of friends who just came along and were like, yo, shit, like this guy's doing a party, let's go?
Yeah.
Or did you market it in a certain way? Like how did you
Yeah, like I think one thing that like we really prioritize, I think compared to maybe the other events, is like our marketing capabilities are like
Yeah.
they're on point. Like you'll see we get the best photographers, best videographers, best after movie people, and we like really invest into the marketing. We're planning like very, very detailed planning about what we're gonna post, how we're gonna do it. I think that's maybe a bit of a different compared to the other event companies.
Yeah.
And I think especially for the first few project events, we had like a really strong, loyal promoter base and like almost fan base because, you know, it's like friends of friends of friends.
Yeah.
And they were just inviting everybody. And at that point, they didn't even really care like what the music was going to be. They wanted to come because we were organizing it or their friends were like part of the promoter team.
Yeah.
And we really were like trying to keep it like a core promoter team that was super engaged and super like into the events and wanted to like continue. So we were like constantly like talking to them about feedback, doing like little things with the promoters. Like everyone like managed like 10 promoters, and we kept it like on a really personal level, almost like creating like friendships with these promoters. And like,
So
I think
smart,
that really that really helped with everything.
Yeah, 100%. Because you
Yeah,
make
very
them
smart.
you make them really feel like valued.
Yeah.
So therefore they're gonna
Part
like
of the
promote
thing
the
that-
shit out of it. Yeah.
Like they had
the best way
input
to
into
go.
the events, which was super nice. You know, we would ask them like, oh, what type of music do you want? What do you think about the theme and everything?
Yeah.
And like to this day, like some of those promoters are like good friends of ours, even though they're not promoting anymore. Like we still kept in contact with them, and like we just became boys and like
Like a
with
good
them,
group.
which is super nice. Yeah.
That was kind of like you and Irish, actually.
Yeah, it is, bro. And
Yeah.
he fucking found me and was like, bro, promote for me. But he just did it. He was cutting my hair and he was like, bro, do you want to promote? And I was like, yeah, why not?
But Arish is like the OG of like the promoter management. Like
shout out to him, bro.
Yeah. He started like that's where we got our inspiration from. Is like especially Wheelit is like how they dealt with the promoters. We took things from them and incorporated our own ideas on how to manage them really well. And I think that's also part of the success of Wheelit, especially at the start, was they also had like that lower promoter base and friend base.
Yeah,
as
100%.
well.
But I love your like business kind of view on it. Because
Yeah,
you did
yeah,
it. Because a lot of people go into it like, oh, let's just have a party with our friends. Who gives a fuck? Let's just sell tickets and whatever.
Yeah.
But you kind of like went in there with like the strategy of like, what's the best way to sell it and how can we maximize?
Yeah,
No,
that's very
we went into it with the IBA mindset. That's for sure.
Yeah,
we went into it. It was
IBA
we love
mindset.
enjoying the events. We love the events, but we went into it thinking like this is a business for us.
Yeah.
And how can we like make this a business, a successful business? How can we structure it like as a business? And like I think that's also like part like maybe also like part of the success as well of like why they're doing well is that like we went into it with a business mentality for sure.
So I have a question relating to that actually. So what's your ambition like in this industry, like nightlife? In general?
So I think we talked about it the other day was that like I don't necessarily love the nightlife industry, like working in it.
I swear, loads of people say this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a toxic industry. I
Yeah,
think a
it
little
is,
bit.
it is.
Like,
Everybody knows it.
but I really do enjoy organizing events. Like it's something that I'm like quite passionate about. Obviously,
Yeah, bro.
I better be a
You
host for
better be,
it.
bro. We've got like 7 of them.
Um,
The CV is complete, bro. You know, like, it's chill.
yeah, getting there. Not done yet.
Yeah, not done yet, bro. It's good.
But I do want to organize events, be that festivals, sporting events, even corporate events.
Okay.
Bringing people together, like that would be super interesting. But I do think at some point I'm kind of gonna like fade away from specifically nightlife events.
Yeah.
Um,
So maybe not like related to students as much, but more like related to the professional world or adult world.
yeah. Just more like a general audience, you know, like
Okay.
like I had so much fun organizing the gala, you know, like it's still at night, it's still nightlife, but it was such a big scale. That's like organizing big scale events, not organizing club nights too much. Whilst I'm at uni, I'm loving it. I would love to teach people how to like do it, but not something that I see myself doing like long term.
Fair
enough. I mean, I think you've created definitely the foundations. So like now, from now on, you could kind of go
Hopefully.
in any direction.
Yeah.
You know, slowly, but like go in the direction you kind of want to.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I find that really interesting. And then also, I think in terms of like your ambition, is there like a dream type of like thing you would want to do, or a dream type of festival that you would want to be able to organize, or like
Good question.
I don't know. Like, I'm thinking like if you're so because you're definitely passionate about this, bro.
Yeah.
So you must have in your head like a dream type of scenario where you are either in charge of this festival or what would be your dream type of festival or dream type of event?
I think if you talk to anybody in the electronic music industry, there's one festival that they talk about, and I'm already kind of getting into it. It's Tomorrowland. Unbelievable. Best festival in the world.
I knew you were gonna say that. I just wanted to ask the question.
Hands down, like there's only one answer to that question.
Yeah,
It has to be Tomorrowland. I would love to organize sporting events as well.
Yeah.
Maybe work for like FIFA or something, or like even like I used to be a big swimmer, so like FINA would also be super interesting to work in and see what we could do there. Jeez. But within the music industry,
Tomorrowland.
The only answer to the question is Tomorrowland. If anyone says anything else, then they don't know what Tomorrowland is.
No, fair enough. Yeah, but I think it's probably the biggest, one of the biggest, if not the biggest.
I think it's the biggest electronic music event in the world. They're selling out every single year in like 2-3 seconds, and like it's impossible to get tickets.
Unless you know somebody maybe that.
Unless you know somebody, and I mean, I've not been to that many festivals. But I just can't imagine anything getting better than that festival. Like, it's just the other world, basically.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. Have you ever been to Tomorrowland?
No, never.
Have any of you guys been?
I would love
Nah? We're lacking, boys. Come on, I'm going to follow my shit, bro. No, I've never been, bro. Like, I hear always every time, bro. Like, it's amazing. So
even if you're not into electronic music or, like EDM or, like, techno, like, it doesn't matter. You just need to experience it. You walk in and you actually feel like it's in Belgium, which is such a weird thing for me because you go and you genuinely feel like you're on Mars or something. Like it's just such a weird dynamic that they have. Like everybody from around the world. You see more people from like Brazil than you'll see from Belgium, and they'll like fly in for it. It's just weird. Jesus. It's so nice.
How many people attend every year?
I'm not too sure. I think like a lot,
thousands,
hundreds of thousands for sure. Yeah,
Jeez,
I think 400,000. I think because it's 2 weekends.
There's loads of stages, right?
Yeah, there's like 12 stages or something.
Okay.
12 big stages, and then they have like these little small stages as well.
Like people, So like an artist who gets
1,500 people apparently during the event. But I don't know if that's the whole thing.
1,500.
Yeah.
Wait, over.
Oh, but just on one point of time, I think. Oh wait.
No, 1,500. Nah.
Okay,
15K. But then maybe is that
wait.
one day or like wait,
let me check.
I'll let him check. He's right. But and then okay, so then more maybe like in terms of your team. I mean, I don't know like if they also have this ambition.
Yeah.
I originally thought it was you who did this thing. I didn't know you had a team. No. So like shout out to them. I don't know all of their names and stuff.
Mate, Marco, Danny.
Say all of their names. Is that it?
Mate, Marco, Danny, Elisa, Miska, Sonia.
Okay.
They all know who they are.
Shout out to them.
Yeah. Probably more. 10, my videographer.
Damn. Okay.
So it's a big team. Like the core team though is me, Marco, Mate, and Danny.
Okay, so that's like
Yeah.
And you guys started this, I think, kind of all together, right?
Yeah. So we all started a project together.
And how are the roles? Like, how does that?
Yeah. So
like everyone's different roles. Who does what?
Yeah.
Who's in charge of what?
Yeah. So I'd say like I oversee everything, sort of like as a
CEO
sort of role. As much as I hate to say it,
that
like
big-headed, bro. I'm joking. I'm putting you on the spot.
As like a CEO role, and then under that, like I would say, Mate really takes care of like the digital design, sort of the artistic direction with like relations to the marketing.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Danny and Marco also like kind of with me and Mate at the same time, also overseeing, helping Mate with his things on like creating the marketing strategy, and then with me also creating like the strategic strategy for all the other events.
So it's a properly run like business. Like this is not, you're not joking about.
No. We take it seriously.
Yeah.
No, I really like how do I say, like admire it because you and your boys, you know, it could be very like jokey. Yeah. Maybe some of my boys, I don't know if I would always want to do business exactly with all of them. Like, but with you guys, like it seems like it just kind of all came together, and you all have.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there are ups and downs, you know.
Yeah.
But, it's with your boys, nothing's ever going to be smooth.
Yeah.
But I think like we work really well together, and we all now have been working with each other for almost 2 years. So we know how each other works. We know like what everyone's core competencies are, and how they can help with all the strategic input and the event planning.
Yeah.
And like it's just like it's really like, especially now I can really see it's like really molding together like super nicely, and just like finally like really coming together as like a proper team. Yeah.
So how did y'all actually define the roles? Because you were just like a group of boys, like a group of friends
like
at first, right?
I generally just came down to like competencies and like what people are like to do.
So you just were like, yo, you're good at this, you're good, or like
it just kind of just happened, you know. We just kind of like all morphed into the role, and it was never really like designated or anything. Obviously, like for example, like we started off, Mate, he knows how to edit photos, he knows Photoshop, he knows like Adobe Illustrator. So obviously that's a really big bonus for marketing and like content design. But like I had no idea about like organizing anything before. You just kind of the roles kind of fell in place, and that's kind of how things came about.
So it was more like naturally than like
very
programmed.
Natural.
And do you think even like this business aspect kind of just came naturally also in a way? Like as you guys saw, oh shit, this is working, let's kind of grind on it?
Yeah, I think we just took all the opportunities that really came to us and that were presented to us, and we kind of went into the mentality like, no matter what happens, we're going to take the opportunity to try our best and just see how things go. And every opportunity that presented itself so far, like we've tried to take, and we've tried to do it as best as possible, put all our effort into it. And obviously there's been some failures along the road, but like the main ones have stuck, and they're getting out there now, and they're growing.
I mean, bro, you've like literally conquered university parties, bro.
Yeah, honestly.
like there's Wheel It. Even you do Wheel It now. Wait, I'm saying there's only maybe Global Beats and E&O that you don't. That's the only ones.
Not yet.
But what I mean is like, bro, like literally every party is by your group. Is by your team.
Yeah, we're trying. Yeah.
So that's crazy, bro.
The monopoly's coming, huh?
Yeah, bro, like, you guys are owning the shit, man.
Yeah.
But Paul, like in terms of
so actually you're on 6 projects at the same time, so that's pretty crazy. And I think obviously you're doing something pretty well, you know. So I want to know what's the recipe to your success.
Recipe to your success, bro.
That's a tricky one. I think like trial and error is like something, and just taking all the opportunities that came to us was like really successful, because we talk about these 6 projects, but there was 12 other projects that we don't talk about, which didn't go well. And I think one thing that we did well was when something wasn't going well, we highlighted the areas of why this is not going well. What can we do better? Is it worth investing our time and effort and finances into these projects? Or is it better that we invest these time, effort, finances into the projects that are already doing well, make those bigger? So I do think the recipe to success has probably been that business outlook on things, and not going into event industry as event promoters and party goers, and going into it as like businessmen, IBA. IBA mentality.
IBA mentality. No, fair enough, bro. Fair enough. I mean, I feel like you've got like, if you want to make anything like this, well, you have to like take it just seriously and not.
Yeah, but I think there's different ways of going about it. Like I know like a lot of event promoters, they go into it with like 100% enthusiasm. Yeah. And that's also one way of doing it. And that's one way of creating a really, really nice party with a really, really nice community. But there's also the way that we do it, and then we go about it in the business manner. Yeah. So, you know, you do meet these event promoters that are really successful, and it's like, it's their life, you know, like that's their ride or die, basically. They're on it 100%, and they're really, really into it. And it's super nice to see and passionate. But we just know that we don't work like that. And we're going to work like on another way from the business aspect of it. And that's, I think, there's just 2 ways of approaching it, basically,
Damn. And like
that it's sort of fun. Like, I feel like kind of everybody has the same view in your project, like your group.
Yeah.
But everyone seems to, bro. Like, you've got them on, I mean, everyone's clocked in, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
But it must be like basically a full-time job.
It's getting there for sure. Like,
bro, even when we were at PA, you were like, bro, I got a meeting. I was like, oh, damn, excuse me, bro.
Yeah. Especially the weeks leading up to events, it's quite hectic. Like last week before the gala, it was more than a 9 to 5. It was a 9 to 9, basically working every day.
Gee, like a lot of partners and collaborators.
Yeah, collaborators, partnerships, sponsorships, just working, selling tickets, all that, the marketing. The organization, obviously, with the event, with the catering company, the lighting, the sound, the security, the church manager. It's just a lot of things that go into it,
And so you are in charge of all of that.
So
that facet of it, like the whole organization thing of it. You've got to like talk to these people.
Yeah. That's like
the worst part, bro. That's like so annoying, man. But I mean,
I enjoy it.
You enjoy it?
I enjoy it.
I feel like you're good at like human interactions also, maybe
Thank you.
understanding
Thank you.
people.
Thank
Like
you.
you seem like a very comfortable person and confident.
Thank you.
But would you say, like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of parties do very well also because of the people that you bring to perform in them. So my question maybe is more like, in terms of these collaborations that you've done with these artists,
collaborations.
Is that kind of also a recipe to the success?
You
Like
think
collaborating with artists has helped create these parties to what they are?
I think especially with I can't talk too much about the We Lit side of things because I've recently joined, so I never really did any of the big bookings yet.
Yeah, because they've had some.
Fair.
We've had Irish on, but some crazy
so
ones.
They
bro.
all have seen what Irish has said, but I've joined after that, so we haven't done any artist events since I've joined. There will be some coming. But
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. From a project side of things, I think there's definitely been some artists that have really like helped out a lot.
Okay, yeah.
Especially Rose Rings. We did him like 2 months ago at 12th Floor all night long. It was his first all night long in Rotterdam. 7-hour set. And that was like a really nice collaboration. You know, he brought his fans, and in that sense, we created a community on that event of people that really came for his music.
Yeah.
We've done Maxi Meraki on a boat, also a big Afro house, deep house DJ. And then again, you know, he brought his community of people, and then they mingled with the community that we'd already built, and it just creates like a really nice like ambiance and vibe at the event. So yeah, the artists are really, really big help.
No, I imagine, because like I feel like if you can get those big names, then people will just come for sure.
Yeah.
Like that's what at the end of the day, like everyone complains about the music in clubs and parties and stuff. So whenever you can actually have a really good artist that you know is going to do well, then your job becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, you're never like, especially when you do like these parties for everybody, you're never gonna satisfy everybody with the music.
Yeah,
there's always gonna be people unhappy, especially at student parties, and that's kind of why, like, especially with Project and Utopia, we're moving away from just doing for students, and we want people to come for the artist, for the music, for the community that they're bringing.
Trying to go mainstream a little bit more, like outside of just students.
Yeah, outside of students. We want, especially Project is it's already getting there. You can see now that the average age of events is getting a lot older, which is what we were aiming for. And people are really coming for the artist, for the music. And in that sense, we're building a community like that. People coming because they know the artist and they want to see them. Rose was probably the first event where we really noticed that like people were coming for him and his music, and not necessarily because it was a project event.
Or because, like you guys organize it or stuff like that. Yeah. Fair enough. And like, how is it collaborating with these artists, and how is it communicating?
Is it hard, actually?
Depends on the artist.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Depends on the artist.
We had some crazy stories.
Yeah, I feel like...
You might not be able to talk about all of them.
Yeah. I feel like in events, you have two sides. You have the really easy to work with artists and the really hard ones, and there's no in between. There's no in between. And I've been very fortunate to normally only work with really, really nice people and nice artists that are willing to help you as much as possible.
Yeah.
And not causing any issues, not like doing anything that you would not want at an event. But obviously I've seen the other side of things. I've heard conversations with Arash and Andres about things that have happened there with the big artists.
Jesus, like they told us about some of the things, bro.
Yes.
Fucking insane. Bro.
Yeah,
go check it out.
Yeah, it's on that sort of. No, but like Irish was telling me, bro, like especially rappers.
Yeah,
rappers don't give a fuck, bro.
And I haven't had much time to deal with the rappers. I mean, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. Be careful, bro.
Like from the rappers, because I feel like rappers are just like super unprofessional in general.
It depends on. We're not calling all rappers up for
no, but in general, like I feel like it's more the case in electronic music. Or...
I really think it depends on the artist, because I can imagine like people like Stormzy, for example, Dave. I can imagine them being super professional, but then you know, I think it's also like it really depends on the artist, and it's the exact same for electronic music. I think it's maybe a different type of disrespect. Like the electronic music people tend to be a bit more professional, but they may like be disrespectful in other ways, you know, like not treating the promoters in the right way, being rude to promoters behind the scenes, maybe talking, they have big egos, you know, so they may be talking a bit of shit about the promoters. But I think in general, it's probably a bit better than the hip hop industry for sure.
Yeah, bro. People in hip hop does.
Yeah, because I feel like it's just the branding is also like to be unprofessional kind of. So
I agree.
like,
I agree.
But also, like what we said, the difference between getting a techno artist and an artist in rap is a lot easier. But I think a lot of these rappers, because there are a lot more of them that are very big,
Yeah.
mainstream, like they're very liked by a lot of people.
Yeah.
It makes them have these huge egos, whereas maybe in the techno like scene, not as many are known. Like it's a lot more underground kind of.
Yeah, so techno is more of an underground thing.
Yeah.
I do think now it's on the rise again.
Yeah.
And it's becoming more popularized, and people are starting to get more and more into it.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, booking these artists, like the big ones, so like the ones that are comparable to Central C will be like Solomon, Black Coffee is obviously as hard. And you really need to have like a vibe and a promoter that really matches their energy and their
100%.
like what they want, because they have a really big strong brand image that they want to curate. But in electronic music, and you can book artists that are a lot smaller but will still drive a crowd, which is nice. Whereas
That's
I feel
super
like,
interesting.
yeah,
though.
in the hip hop industry, if you're gonna book an artist that has like 20K on Instagram, it's not gonna sell out a venue.
Yeah,
no,
But
100%.
there are a lot of electronic music artists that you can book.
Yeah.
They'll have 20, 30K on Instagram, and they'll sell out venues weeks and weeks beforehand because they have such like a loyal customer base.
Is that what it is then? Is
Yeah.
it like the loyal?
Yeah.
Why is it that people are more loyal
I
to?
feel like it's because DJs also like perform like in a like party setting, you know, and like rap, you kind of can listen to it also like at home, and then the people are just everywhere. Kind of.
Yeah, I feel like if you're coming for a rap event, you also want to know the songs as well. You don't want to go
Yeah,
to a rap
also,
event
yeah.
and not know any of the lyrics. Whereas with techno, they're also
you
going to
do
be playing
that too.
other people's songs. They'll be playing their
very
own
true.
productions, and then people, it's more general, right? Because you don't need to know the songs. You can just go and enjoy it. Whereas with hip hop, you need to know the songs. Otherwise, it's I don't know, but it could be a bit weird, a bit of a weird
no, I agree,
ambiance and vibes to the event if people don't know the
100%.
lyrics.
And do you have any like funny stories or anecdotes to do with these artists or collaborations in that way? Like, do you have anything that kind of shocked you, or you were like, "Oh shit," that you could share with people? Or I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, so I don't know if you have any.
I have a few. I don't know if I'm at leniency to say that, to be honest.
Okay, but how about like, maybe I can ask you this: when you guys bring these artists after the events, do you guys often go out, or will they like have like an after party? Will they be with you guys, or do they just go home and like fuck that?
Yeah, so it depends on the artist. So
Yeah.
we last time we booked Maxi Maraki on a boat. It was super
Yeah.
nice, and then we went to Tofta with him after. And
Okay, so just you guys, like just
yeah, me, him, and like two friends, and we went and we had a really good time. And he went off to his hotel after, and nothing really that crazy. But then a lot of these artists, the minute they're done, they're out, they're off, they're ready for tomorrow. Like they're super professional, and that's what I really like. These artists are. They just want to go and they want to be rested up, start production again, start working on new songs the next day. So they're not, the ones that I've worked with so far are not the biggest party animals on planet Earth. They're really like going in with business mindsets, and they're just their love for electronic music and creating electronic music and performing in front of people. But then when they're done, they want to rest up and go again tomorrow.
fair enough. And do you have like, I don't know if you can answer this, do you have a favorite artist that you've had on that was like your favorite personally?
Yeah, I mean,
In terms of performance, it doesn't have any personality.
like everybody knows I love Rose Ring. Like I've booked him 3 times now. And I think it says enough. I gave him one of his first all-nighters in Rotterdam, which was super special. Maxi as well, also an amazing producer and artist, and also a good friend of mine as well. And having him come to 2 editions now, one at Project, one at Utopia, was also like super special as well. So there's a lot of artists that we want to book, and we're going to be booking. But so far from the ones that we have, those are like the 2 standout ones where I was just like in love with like what they were doing and the music that they're making.
No, fair enough. I feel like it goes both ways. Like you help them with like a venue, and then they help you with bringing people. And like if you can like capture that and keep on making it happen, then those events will just continue to grow.
And it's incentive for them to bring people as well, because they want good content. They want people to listen to their music and understand the vibe that they're trying to bring, and therefore develop like a community. And that's really what they want. So.
Yeah, 100%. Like it goes both ways. Like, it's
for
cool.
sure.
It goes both ways.
For sure, yeah.
And like, do those events with artists usually do better than when you don't have like a bigger artist, or it just depends?
It depends on the artist, you know. Like sometimes we've booked our friends on lineups. Nisho, Nick Thompson, I think was on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, by the time this drops, his will already be out.
Yeah,
It's not out yet, but by the time this one drops, his will be out.
Yeah, Zaynab, Zil. These are like the student DJs that are like DJing for us. They also bring a crowd.
Zil is also doing pretty well. He's
Maybe interesting for you guys to have him on
I know, I was
as well.
thinking about him maybe because he's a very interesting, very interesting guy. Backstage, someone's leaving, but see, bro.
Off the study,
Oh, he's off the study, bro. But yeah, just I think there's a lot of student DJs that are also kind of coming up on the rise.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see. I mean, of course, my personal favorite is Nisho because he's a good friend of mine. But I'd be interested to see how far some of them could go.
Yeah.
You're giving them some of them really good opportunities too.
Yeah. And I think like the ones that we booked, we have Zay as our resident DJ, and she's amazing. Such a really talented DJ. I would love to see like where she can go in the industry. Nisho as well, and Zil starting to do his own production as well, and he's really incorporating like a live set into his act, which is like I think in the future, if he markets it well, could really differentiate himself from all the other Afro house, deep house DJs. Yeah. So I'm super excited to see where he goes, and especially he's got like a nice marketing team around him. Sedi Edward, videographer. I don't know if you know him.
No, I don't think I know.
He's helping Zil a lot with all the content, and they're doing a really good job together. So I think like the more and more content that they get and push, and the more productions that he does and differentiates himself from other artists, is going to help a lot.
100%, bro. 100%. Like you got to differentiate yourself. You got to be
different. The music industry is all about differentiating yourself because there are a lot of artists that sound very, very similar.
Bro, everyone's the same. I swear, bro. From my perspective, sometimes everyone is playing the same thing.
Isn't that cool? Also, like from your perspective, you can kind of get to choose, like, you know, which one is gonna be the best. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then it's also kind of like
it's tricky. It's tricky, but it's nice.
You don't want to be like a dickhead in a way of like this is my personal favorite, like fuck the rest, you know. So it's kind of like
of course.
I do have to separate it like friendship though and like industry, and like that's something that like we've definitely struggled with as a team. Is like we have friends that want to come and DJ at our events, but we also have to see it from a business perspective, right? Like are they going to bring people, but also are they going to match the vibe of the event? Are they going to match the music genre and the music direction that we're going in? And
is that tough, like having to mix
it can
friendships?
It can be quite tough, especially with like even just things such as small as like giving free tickets away and stuff, you know.
How is that? Because like since you do fucking 6 parties, bro, people must be DMing you for the free tickets. So bro, get me a free ticket, like can I go to this for free? Is it annoying?
It depends on who the person is, because sometimes, you know, like I'm happy to give people free tickets if I know that they're doing it for genuine reasons, right? But there are people that have messaged me and are like sometimes very nice to me. And me and my team, and you just know that they're not doing it for genuine reasons.
And which we don't fuck with, bro.
We
don't fuck with that shit. No, but it's true. I get what you're saying, bro.
So I haven't had too many of those situations. But there have been situations like that where, you know, people are coming and saying like, oh, do you mind putting me on the guest list for the next event? And I'm like, I just met you like last week. You know?
Like,
No, I know what you mean, bro. It's a tough one to kind of navigate. Fair enough.
So actually, what do you think makes a good night? Like,
I think like
that's a good question, bro.
That's a very good question. He's been cooking that one up.
He's been waiting. He's been loading up. He's been loading it up, bro.
I think for me, the most important part of any night is the community that's there at the event.
Community.
And the organization could be absolutely horrible. It could be 2-hour waiting queue. But if the community is the right community and everyone's vibing with each other and the energy is bouncing off each other, it doesn't matter. It could be raining outside.
That's actually true.
Yeah, it could be raining outside. You could be 5 hours in a queue. But if everybody's happy, talking, vibing, I think that's the most important part of any night. And that's why there are so many successful clubs like Perron. Poing is the prime example of it. Their nights were always so special because of the community that they brought together, and everyone was just renesating off each other, bouncing energy off each other. And there are a lot of events like that now, up and coming, where it's like community driven. Coda Collective is one of them. A shout out to my boy Berto. They've really organized an event where the community is the center of it, and the music is second. And you can do it 2 different ways. But I think that is essentially what will make a really, really good night, you know?
I feel like if you look at like history, also like the biggest festivals,
Yeah.
actually it's not good organizations like the biggest one, like, you know, the one that you're gonna retain like in history, like Woodstock, all these type of shit.
Yeah.
It went like horrible, but actually these are the ones we're gonna remember. 'Cause, yeah, it's just an amazing experience.
Yeah.
I think, bro, if you're with your boys, you're going out, you're with the good crowd, and the crowd's good, you're not like no one bothers about all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you're just with your friends, you're on a good night out,
Exactly.
and you're in a good location, the music's okay. And even like people say about the music, bro. If you're drunk enough, no one remembers. The music.
Yeah.
So you know when like we do global beats, sometimes people be like, I don't know if I like the music, and I always tell them, okay, fair enough, but half of you don't even remember the music that you've been playing.
No.
It's just if you're going to a party like that completely sober, then maybe it's not gonna resonate. But it's the same thing for me. I'm not a huge techno fan.
Yeah.
So if I went to a project like completely sober, I wouldn't enjoy it as much. And it could be anybody there.
I feel like techno also like going techno sober, bro. Like you gotta be
some
aware.
people really like it.
Yeah. You
Like,
can do techno sober.
I think some people love
fair.
that. Some people love that genre, and that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm more of a hip hop kind of person, but like some people love
Yeah.
techno, and they'll go even sober.
Yeah, but
they don't care.
I don't know. I'd feel too oppressed, like because everybody's like out of his mind. Like honestly, when you go to a techno club,
Yeah,
like,
no, everyone's fucked,
so,
but.
Yeah.
But like, but do you drink a little bit when you're at these events, or do you try and stay professional for like
actually.
because bro, when we're at Global Beats, we drink a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we organize it, but I try and remain in case there's a problem, you know.
Yeah. So my mentality about it is once doors are closed, we can do what we want. But up until doors are still open and things can go wrong, then we remain as professional as possible. We don't drink. We don't excessively drink. You know, I have a beer or two in my hand or something. What was nice with the gala last week was we got like a whole crew, event manager, stage manager, ticket scanners. We didn't have to do anything. So then we could
really
actually
nice.
finally enjoy one of our big production events for the first time.
You and your guys didn't have to
Nothing.
like just sit back.
Sit back, relax, enjoy it, admire what we'd created together.
That must be amazing.
Yeah. Or went backstage and just started screaming as loud as possible. Just like, what the hell have we actually done right now?
Yeah.
Just super excited with everything and just finally enjoying an event like on that scale was just such a nice feeling. Yeah.
And like, of course, this is a kind of a tricky question. I don't know if you can talk about it a lot, but of course, you've gotten to the stage now where, like you said, you can bring in these people to kind of do that shit for you. So there must have been a big jump from like the beginning to now in terms of being able to pay these people, I guess, in terms of income that you guys make off of these parties.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking you for specific numbers, but maybe can you just explain to us how has this progression gone as time has gone on in terms of like slowly building up a team where you're able to actually, you know, build something where you can make some money out of it.
And actually like also invest.
Yeah. It's gone like a stock chart. It's gone up, down, and it's getting there. But obviously we're taking risks as well, right? With these finances, it's not we've made losses, we made profits, and some of them have gone well, some of them have gone really badly.
Because if you can't pay the venue, for example, then
it's coming out of my own personal fund, you know, which the other team's personal fund. So and there has been events like that. I'm not gonna lie, where we've had to dig into the savings and the pockets to let the event go ahead.
Is that also why you like diversify so much? Like
that's like the whole business mindset is we want a diversified portfolio within the event industry so that when some things are going well and some things are going wrong, we can invest. We can invest the money back into the ones that are going wrong, or we can invest the money into the ones that are going really well and make them better. So that we always have like at least 2 or 3 things that are going really well, and maybe 2 or 3 things that aren't going well. We can work on the events that are going badly, or we can say, let's stop it, let's not do it anymore, and cut our losses, and then reinvest the money back into the other events that are doing really well.
Fucking hell, bro! I really like that like
it's
perspective.
A nice business model.
It's smart. Like I'm guessing a lot of the money then is reinvested straight away. To maintain that shit.
Yeah. A lot of the money, like as I said, like one thing we really prioritize is like the marketing content, like the photographers, the videographers, and these, when you get like these of the same level that we're getting, they don't come cheap and they're expensive.
They're expensive as fuck.
But
bro.
it's our main priority. I'd much rather have an event with 0 DJ but I actually have an amazing content that I can run ads on for the next event, and just push and show people like, look, this is the vibe of the event, this is what we want, and just like really showcase it, especially on the Instagram and the Facebook. About how good it's going.
That's so sick, bro. I love your kind of like your vision and your way of thinking about it, because there's like a mix of like this enthusiasm you have, but also like this strategy of like getting your shit done, and you don't want to. So I really like that, because a lot of people could go into it kind of like, let's just have these parties, let's do this stuff, and then it all comes crashing down one of a sudden. Whereas I feel like you and your team are more prepared. You guys are like, okay, we've made X amount of money on project, let's say, let's reinvest this into Utopia, because maybe Utopia's not doing well, or if Gala's needs a lot of funding, let's take those. And it's very smart. Like
especially Gala, it was like the first edition. We needed like the capital there to make it as successful as it was.
100%.
And we wouldn't have been able to do that if we hadn't had done all the other events beforehand.
No, I imagine, bro. Like, I think you gotta, man, you gotta put a lot of time into it, and then also, it's a risk, huh? It's a huge risk, man.
We when you like put the balance sheet out for Gala, we were a bit like, oof. Should we do this? Should we not? And then we're like, okay, let's do it.
But look, bro, it turned out well, so the risk kind of probably paid off, you know. And like I said, maybe even in terms of numbers, as time goes on, you'll be able to continue to do these events and then expand even more.
And just
then
let them grow.
Let them grow, naturally.
The course of everything.
Somebody, I'm not saying this is at all what you want to do, but somebody could come along and be like, bro, I want to buy this off of you.
Yeah.
And then it becomes interesting, because you start to have actual power in what you like actually possess. Because you're starting to possess real valuable entities that then you could sell to somebody that you could either keep on growing. And if you're interested in maybe doing something else, then you could be like, fuck this, I'll sell that, and then make some money, invest it somewhere else.
Exactly.
Bro, really like crazy, bro. That you're third year, you're doing all this.
Yeah, I think also like by doing this, you're putting like value on your name, also.
Yeah.
Because like your name is on all these projects and they're working.
Well,
so
actually,
people can see that.
I don't know if that many people know you're behind it.
Yeah, but you can always put it on.
Now maybe a little bit more, but
the viewers know.
I'm quite a bit nonchalant about it.
Does that kind of like, you don't want to really like?
No, I don't. I don't mind. Like, it's just not something that I want to be like. I don't want to be known for the guy that's like doing all these events. I want to be known for the stuff that I do and like who I am as a person. And not have people like, coming up to me. And as I said before, the ticket thing, not having people come up to you.
Real
and
cool interaction.
Yeah, exactly. Like I never like want to be the face of the brand. I just want to be enjoying my events and running them successfully and letting the brand speak for itself, and not people like coming because it's me. People coming because they want to be at the event or
100%
want to be associated with like the community that's there.
Cool.
But maybe the last kind of part to kind of wrap this up is more like, for people who are watching this and they see you as like kind of an example of how to get into parties and how to get in events. Like, how would you explain to someone, because I've had a lot of people ask me even, how do you get into parties like Global Beats? How do you do this?
Yeah.
What would be your advice for someone who's trying to get into nightlife?
Yeah.
Is there advice to give, or does it just come naturally because it came naturally to you? Or is there something that you could say to some, like a student who's out there thinking, how do I do this?
Yeah, I think like my case is like not something that anybody ever is going to replicate. Like, you don't go to Tomorrowland and meet a stage host as your first ever and then get convinced to do it. It's not like a copy-proof strategy, basically.
Yeah.
But I think at university there's a lot of opportunities. Global Beats, for example, Moivelo.
Yeah.
They're hiring boards every year, I believe, right? Every year.
Yeah, Global Beats, for example, I'm part of the board, but it does kind of change. But I think most of us are going to stay. But it does.
You see these events, even like these student associations, NFS, for example, they do a really good job. That's just also a very nice entryway to get into events and organizing events and, seeing if you like it or not. I would really urge a lot of people to try it because it's you learn a lot in this event industry about like people management and 100%. Like personal skills and development. And I think it's really nice for people to get into. So joining something like NFS, Moivelo, Global Beats.
Even I think, don't we even sometimes like for like promoters and stuff?
Yeah, we have head promoters. Even like Erasmus Gala, we're gonna start by getting a board, a board of people, and we're gonna teach them how to organize events. Especially on the scale of what Erasmus Gala actually is.
Yeah.
Teaching them how to do it successfully. but also not letting them have sort of like any financial risk associated with their first ever big production, you know, because that's quite like, we give them the platform to do the big production and make it like as risk adverse as possible for them
100%.
so that they can go into it with like 100% mentality and not be too scared and try what they want to try. And hopefully give them the platform to do that successfully.
I agree. Like even I was telling somebody asked me, oh, how did you get into it? And I just said, bro, I literally started as just promoting.
Yeah.
Like I started as promoting, just selling out tickets, and because I was able to sell a good amount, someone came up to me, was like, oh, do you want to join like Global B? And that's just how it happens. I think there is no like pathway. It's just like start somewhere, and then with connections and with people you meet, if you're good at talking with people, if you're good at communicating.
Sure. I mean, the event industry is like I'd say 99% connections.
100%, bro. I don't know where that one, but like it's literally just if you know someone who knows someone, and you're actually good at talking and at organizing and being structured as an individual. Like you can make it into anything. You know?
Your networking skills have to be on point though.
100%, bro. 100%, yeah. Like, you know, like even like something stupid when we met in MPA, you know, I could have easily just been like, oh, I didn't talk to you, right? Yeah. But the fact that I talked to you was able for us to then like talk, and we kind of like talked back and forth even on Insta, and then even like at the NFS, you were like, oh, bro, do you want to come to a party after or something like that? And it just creates like a little bit of a link between two people, right? Exactly. And then now we brought you on the podcast, and so it's just also like you enjoy somebody, you like that person, you're like, oh, he's really cool, and you just talk with them, and there's nothing wrong with talking with people.
Especially in the event industry, people really respect the work that you're putting in. So if I'm seeing that you're putting work in, then I'm very, very excited to talk to you guys about like what you're doing. And then just bouncing ideas off like that and networking like that.
Fair enough. Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you for that. But yeah, man, like, no, I think that's definitely one way for people to go. It's like, just talk with people. Just network.
And showing face is super important, you know, being like actively seen in these sort of situations. For me, like I will go to festivals now. Not to go to the festival, but to go backstage, speak to people. Networking. Talk to the DJs, talk to the people that are there, and showing face. Like if a DJ, I don't even have to speak to him at an event. If he sees my face 2, 3, 4, 5 times, on the 5th or 6th time, he's gonna be like, "Oh, who is this guy? How is he getting backstage at all these events? Why is he here? Maybe I'll spark a conversation with him, or maybe I'll spark a conversation with the DJ. You know? So showing face is super important, especially.
I think that's a really good way. Like, you gotta be present.
Being present.
It's the same for us, kind of like to find guests. You kind of have to put yourself out there and just ask to a lot of people, because otherwise you can't get a lot of content.
Well, I feel like even a lot of people ask us, "Oh, can I come on your podcast?"
Now also, but at the start it was really like we had to go out of our way, ask people, and people are not necessarily interested. Also, like when you're starting.
Of course.
Yeah, some people are very shy. Some people are. Also, some people kind of ask us, but then we ask them, well, what would you want to talk about specifically? And then some people don't really have an answer. So it's like when we try to bring on someone, like, for example, in general, it's about getting on someone who has a reason to talk about something, like a project of theirs.
Has something interesting to talk about as well, right?
Has to be a value, in the video.
And it has to also match the brand image that you guys are going for as well, you know?
Of course.
You could, as much as you guys could do a podcast, you have to like tailor it to audiences, right?
100%.
You guys could get on like a lecturer from the finance department, but it wouldn't really be relevant, you know what I mean?
Exactly, man. Like, and we also have a long way to go in terms of marketing, in terms of stuff like that.
Of course.
But yeah, it's just like it's just starting something, you know.
Yeah.
It's a stepping stone.
But I swear to God, you inspire me with the events, bro. Because I would love to continue trying to do some other type of events. Yeah. And the way I see you kind of like strategically about it, bro. Like honestly.
Yeah, I like.
Fucking respect.
I really
bro.
like how you go about it. Like,
thank you, man.
Big respect, bro.
You're gonna replicate the formula, right?
No, man.
The recipe.
I don't want to do 7 events like you. No, but I was thinking like even just like an event for like, you know, networking events or stuff like that.
Yeah,
I just find that very interesting one day to be able to do those type of things. Yeah. And then I see someone like you who kind of goes about it in a very business way. Yeah. I think it teaches people that you can be our age and a student and even do these things. Like it is possible.
And be serious and be competitive.
Because a lot of people, bro, would be like, whoa, how old is this guy? Like, because how old are you exactly?
I'm 21.
21, bro. You see, 21 and you've got 7 parties. And a lot of people be like, whoa, shit, like how did he do that? But it's possible. Like, you know, like you just put your head down and grind.
Yeah. And you know, also, like, I think the mentality behind grinding is also like, oh, it's not fun, But you can make it fun, you know? You can enjoy yourself. Like, I enjoy. I'm not like 24/7 in the library. You know, like I'm enjoying myself. I'm still living life as a student should be.
Yeah.
But it's just picking and choosing. You know what you want to do, and if you want to do it, like I don't go out to ESN Tuesdays. very regularly.
On a rare occasion,
I might be there, but I'm not going out every single weekend. But I am picking and choosing what I want to do, and I'm still enjoying it, and I'm not being like stuck at home and not being a university student, which I think that's something that like we as a team as well have like really managed quite well. As we're on our grind, we're up early, we're working, but we're still doing IBA, still socializing, still being a university student, still being 21 years old.
Which is important, man.
Yeah, which is very important.
Also,
I don't want to be 50 years old and think, when I was 21, I just worked too hard, Like, I want to reflect back on these days and be like, I still had a really good time. And
that's true.
Yeah,
but you could also think of it like, you could also, when you're 50, reflect on it like, bro, I was 21 and I had like 7 point. Like, that's also a great experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta like balance.
Yeah,
both.
the balance is super, super important. And that's something that I think we all really, really struggled with. And I especially struggled with.
Oh, yeah?
For my first year and a half was like, getting that balance right, and like it's something that now like I'm starting to understand on how to get it right and how to manage my time, and even just like learn how to delegate tasks when I'm such like an on hands person. Like I want to have control of everything, and it's not possible, and I have to have trust in my team, and it's something that I've like started to develop now, especially like the past few months. But for the first year and a half, it was a struggle. Yeah.
Why? Like, what was so hard about it? Is it just you're somebody who's very like, I want to control everything?
I wanted control over everything. Like, I wanted like input design into the artistic direction. I wanted to like, I wanted to be controlling this, and this. And it was mentally and physically draining. I would like be sleepless nights, like just trying to like organize everything. And have like hands-on control.
I get you, bro. I understand you.
Yeah, it's something that like I think you really have to learn how to like control. And like especially my second year, like I spent maybe every single day working on this, and this, and not like having faith in the people that I was employing to or my team as well to like complete that task successfully for me. And that's why I started DJing, because I was like, I also want to have hands control on the music as well, which is something that like if you that's why I started like producing, like making music.
A little bit like OCD, a little bit
of OCD for sure, especially with like organization side of things, like and that's I say that was like my biggest struggle within event industry was like learning how to like delegate tasks, and, like,
trust people,
having trust in people to complete something successfully, and it's still something that I struggle with today, but it's something that like we and my team are all like learning how to cope with and how to like trust each other. Like,
would you say that's the like most common struggle like in nightlife?
I don't know if it's a general thing. I think a lot of people in nightlife are very like relaxed and like laissez-faire, and they actually can't even be bothered to control anything. Actually, I think maybe me and my team are quite unique in that sense. Is like we want control over everything.
Yeah.
But sometimes you gotta kind of like let the emotions like flow and like let like the natural course of the event or the like the night take action, and then learn from it the next day and improve, but not like 24/7 control.
Yeah.
I've told my friends this in the past. Like I respect it so much because it's, and like I don't want you to take this the wrong way. It's cringe when you get like you do 4 or 5 podcasts and you get like 200 views.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be cringe in 4 or 5 years when you've been repetitive, you've stuck on it, 100%. And you've grown. And it doesn't matter if in 4 or 5 years there's like 1,000-2,000 people watching the video. It's about the fact that I always respect people that are putting themselves out there and they're sticking to stuff. I don't respect people. Not respect people. They're going to crush so hard. But if people
don't respect
start something and then they give up after like if you guys did 3-4 podcasts and then you gave up, I'm a bit like, why did you do that in the first place? You should have stuck at it and continued. And that's what I respect about you guys. Is the more I talk to you, you've done a lot of podcasts and you have people coming as well. I've told you about people that you could also bring on.
Yeah.
I think it's so much like it's going to be so valuable for you in the future. Just stick at it, keep it like constant motion, keep ticking over it. So like I respect it, like as a uni student, I think it's easy to sit home, eat your capsulon and drink a beer on the weekend. But it's
It is very easy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not easy to it's not
No,
easy to
fair.
put yourself out there, especially on camera. That's
Yeah,
hard,
no, it's hard, honestly.
And putting
Especially
yourself
at
out
start,
there.
I think it was hard.
At the beginning, it was a little bit weird because you're like, oh shit, I'm watching myself back, and I'm like, what the fuck am I saying? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's something that we both really wanted to do.
Yeah.
We have a great team also. Shout out to the man backstage, Danny. And Shahed also, who's not here, but she also helps us.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, like I think for us, there's just, I don't know, there's loads of opportunities. Like this
It's
is,
a
for us,
stepping
this is the
stone.
beginning,
It's a stepping
right?
stone.
It's a
Yeah,
stepping
yeah,
stone.
yeah.
And we can, and slowly, like you said, like we're just going to keep on trying.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any regrets.
bro.
Yeah, we'll see.
'cause it's-
For us, it's just
it's
at least
always
we
good.
tried.
Like-
We just
Yeah,
want to try.
exactly, exactly.
And if it
Start
doesn't,
somewhere, so
Exactly.
if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If
Yeah.
it does work, then fucking hell.
Exactly.
We'll be
And
proud
you know
of
what I
it.
mean? Like it's very respectable when people put time and effort into something.
Yeah.
And something that they like
bro.
passionate about. So that's why I was more than happy to like when you asked me, I was like 100%. I'm not gonna say no. I respect this too much, you know.
Yeah, thank you,
I
bro.
appreciate it.
Thank you,
I appreciate
super,
it.
super,
No,
like, a
worries,
lot.
no worries.
And like the same for us. Like that's what we want to bring people on. It's people that we also respect. Of like,
Yeah,
shit, this guy's
exactly,
doing
exactly.
this.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Because-
Like highlighting talents.
Yeah, it's literally
Yeah. We
highlighting
find
talent.
talent.
And like in that case, you with your parties, or like in the previous episodes we've had, Nisha was a great up and coming DJ.
Yeah.
We've had Emi Navarro, who's a music producer, who's doing. Bro, he reached
DJ.
100,000 streams.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, so
On his song, on his.
so
other
I've not
song.
actually met him before.
But you should, because he's a little bit shy, but he's a super like talented guy.
Yeah.
Like he's very like about his shit. I don't know what my man's doing, man.
Chaos is going on.
Chaos is going on, but we'll let him go back
Wait,
to
is it
keep
finished?
rolling, keep rolling. We'll keep rolling.
All right.
We'll keep rolling.
Is
But-
is he electronic music?
yeah, he's a mix of electronic music.
He's an exchange student. Like, yeah, I don't know.
He does electronic / techno
Right.
/ house /
Yeah, for me it's more house.
Pop.
like stuff.
He kind of
Yeah.
mixes. Bro,
I'll show
I'm
you
telling
after.
you, I'll show you
I think
after.
it's someone that I should meet. I think.
He's definitely someone you should,
Yeah.
because he's starting to do really well.
Okay.
Bro, his song got picked up by five Spotify playlists.
Yeah,
Okay.
like he got a good like business mindset.
Yeah, and he's someone like
Okay.
who's very serious about shit. So
That's
shout
good,
out
that's
Emi Navarro. But same with Irish stuff like that. Like very interesting,
yeah,
and even
yeah.
the people that we have that are coming on in the future.
Yeah.
Very interesting people. So yeah, man, that's the goal, man. But
Yeah,
thank you very
of
much, bro.
No, you
Yeah,
should.
and,
Thank you.
It was
this
a real interesting conversation.
maybe just
Thank
a last kind of thing. Is there any advice
Yeah,
for the community?
advice for
We
the
always ask this
community.
question.
Yeah, we always do.
Is there any advice to the community that you want to give, or is there any advice in general that you think is important to give to young
Yeah.
people who are aspiring to be something? Doesn't have to be
Yeah.
events, just in general.
Yeah. No, I think putting yourself out there, as I said before,
Yeah.
consistency is just like the two most important things. Like if you're consistent, you're putting yourself out there enough
Yeah.
for like people to like appreciate you, see you. I think like that's the most important thing I would say is like being consistent and just putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And, like not being afraid of like what people are gonna think and say about you is like super important, because at the end of the day, like as I said, like in 10, 20 years, nobody's gonna remember
Yeah,
like, the
100%.
negative
Yeah.
thing, but they will think like, oh damn, like this guy, he did it, when he put himself out there. And everyone respects people that put themselves out there, but you've got to get to that stage. And I know it's
Yeah.
hard to like break past that
Yeah.
barrier. It's a mental
of
block a
course.
little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, people can be afraid of doing it and stuff, but I think it's like super important, especially at like this young age that we're all at, like the community that you guys have. I'm assuming
Yeah.
it's all quite young, or university
Yeah,
students.
for the moment, yeah.
mostly,
Like
mostly.
this is like the time right now where we like don't have too much financial burden.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
have to like
exactly.
we don't have kids or wives or,
Yeah.
people,
We have no,
or
like,
The-
real
the wife shouting at you.
real responsibilities. So this
Yeah.
is like the time where we have to like be taking risks
Yeah.
and putting ourselves out there. And I think like it's
I
just
agree.
super important. I sound like a dad right now.
No, but it's
honestly,
true.
honestly,
No, but
this
you're right,
one,
you're right,
this
you're
one
right.
is coming back a lot. So I think it's a pretty valid point,
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's
put
also what
yourself
Irish
out
said.
there.
Irish said something similar as well.
Honestly,
right?
I think
A lot of them, and you know
This
why?
one is
I
the
love
key,
that
actually.
because
Like,
they're
it's-
all people who are driven in their
Similar
own.
Yeah, and it's a
mindsets,
different,
yeah.
it's a different thing, but similar mindset.
Yeah.
I think you just find it for people who understand that it will come naturally to people
Yeah.
people who are driven, bro. Like any of us have all been that person that was not driven, that was at home on the couch, just
yeah.
chilling. But it's just about like you said, put yourself out there.
Yeah.
That's really important.
For sure.
But yeah, man, been an absolute pleasure, bro. To have
Thank
you
you.
on.
Thank you for having me. boys. I was happy to be here.
Like, is there a way for people to find maybe your, like, something that you want to plug in, like your, I don't know, your group's name or do you have an account that you
Yeah,
want
feel
to?
free to follow projects.
Yeah, project. Like, okay, he's gonna do his thing, but we put it up on like the thing. But like, wait, so there's project.
Project
Wait, there's
Netherlands,
6, bro. What the fuck?
There's like 6 of them.
Utopia,
Utopia.
We Lit,
We Lit.
Psych Gathering,
Psych Gathering, yeah.
and then the big one, Erasmus Gala.
Erasmus Gala.
And then, some more pending in the
Yes.
in the works. So Portalis, shout out Thomas for Portalis.
We Lit up there also.
We Lit's also up there. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, bro. Well, absolute pleasure, bro, to have you on.
Thank you,
everyone.
me.
This is Max Anderson for everyone like watching who doesn't know, but yeah, man of many talents, and thank you for watching, everybody. We'll be back soon.